Hello and welcome once again to Factory Town. So my aims for today are getting some cloth conveyor belts ready and available for me to start using. Now, cloth conveyor belts require stone, wood and cloth. For some reason, cloth conveyor belts need cloth. Who would have thought it? But yeah, so they're made inside a workshop. So there they are. You need stone bricks, you need wooden wheels, and you need the cloth. And that produces one cloth conveyor belt, which are ridiculously useful. So I obviously need somewhere with cotton, somewhere with stone and trees. I mean, I could just use where I'm already... could just extend it here and, make this workshop make them. That could work. Yeah, you know what? We'll do that. So, you make wood wheels and you make cloth conveyor belts, please. So, this worker can grab this wood and deliver it here. We'll grab another worker who can grab stone and deliver it here. And we'll grab one of these wagons that were selling the cloth, but instead it can now deliver it over here to this workshop. Now, to make sure that I don't have to go a ridiculously long way, I think it'd help putting a path like that across. Oh, and we've just finished logistics. Ah, wonderful. Okay, so now you can do medicine, please. Okay. So we're not making the wood wheels yet. Oh no, we are. And yes, we've made our first cloth conveyor belt. Oh, that's amazing. To get it, just started so quickly. So, now we've got cloth conveyor belts available, we can remove that wagon. And that can go right there. And as you can see, it's grabbing the cloth straight out of this, pumping it straight into here. Let's increase the numbers of workers in here just a little bit. Let's go all the way to 5. Because we seem to be emptying it out, so that's fine. And obviously I do still want to sell some of the cloth so that I can get, red coins. Speaking of increasing the productivity, let's add some people in here as well. That's still a little slow. You know what? Let's go 10. Oh wow! Look at it all. Yeah, that seems perfect. And it is slowly going up. But then again, we've now run out of plants to harvest, so... Right. Let's go through all this. So as you can see, we've now got the sorter, the grabber, pusher, so many different things with the logistics. Okay. Now, I'm not going to change this chute for conveyor belts, because the chute is comparable to the conveyor belt in speed. In fact, the chute might even be a little faster because it obviously allows the items to speed up, whereas the conveyor belt keeps them at a set pace. Right, so let's build a couple more. Look at that. Farm tile, that's what I'm after. And oh, we've run out of grain. Okay, so let's get a couple of workers grabbing grain and putting that in our main base. That will allow us to have a little bit more grain to actually plant some tiles. And again, this is why it's important to make sure that you have some grain stored somewhere. Because otherwise, as you're trying to expand, you're not going to have the materials available to do so. We'll leave that for a bit rather than, you know, constantly clicking, waiting. So, now we've got the conveyor belts, we can get rid of this wagon, and we can add in a conveyor belt for it. So as you can see, yeah, I think the chutes are faster. Most definitely faster. But this can move items uphill, it can also move items that the chutes can't move, so it's worth it. Oh, wow, you're full. Okay, one little guy moving the food isn't enough, obviously. So let's get a wagon to move it instead. And you can go away. That worker turned into a wagon. That's working at a 1, that's working at 1, so they're fine. That's filling up, lovely. So the main slowdown here is the wooden wheels. You know what, if we can add a few workers, that will speed up production. Now, something that you've got to take into consideration, when you use a workshop or any building to do more than one item, it does lose something. So, sorry about that, guys. My dog decided it was playtime. So, just started making a lot of noise and throwing stuff against my door. Yeah, what I was going to say is, for example, these wooden wheels. If I remove conveyor belts, is that moving any faster? Yeah. So, when you're producing more than one item, your productivity or your speed is split between them. So they'll both be made slower. Obviously, the wooden wheel, whenever there isn't the materials to make a cloth conveyor belt, you can see it goes up a lot quicker. But that's because it's producing just wooden wheels. As soon as it's producing wooden wheels and a cloth conveyor belt, they're both slowed down. So that's one of the problems with using a production area for more than one item. It slows all of the items down by the number of items. So sometimes you do want a dedicated production facility so that you can sort of keep it up at its maximum rate. Okay. I'm sure we've got a few of these by now. Yep. Do we have enough? We do have enough. Wonderful. And 52. Yeah, you guys can keep going for the minute, I suppose. Get a decent supply of them. And you're nearly finished with medicine. It's not bad. All in all, we're doing remarkably well. We've got a small stockpile of yellow coins. I say small stockpile because, you know, once you start altering terrain and things like that, that will disappear ridiculously quickly. But it's nice that we're getting, you know, the conveyor belts and things like that. Now, conveyor belts can be sold for quite a decent amount. But these sell for red coins. They sell for yellow. Still need the red coin production, so I'm still going to keep selling the cloth as I am. Yeah. Now, how are we doing on planks and things like that? Because we are obviously now using our planks that would normally just be for building. Same as our stone. Maybe a nice idea to set up a separate workshop and that for lumber. Ooh, lovely. Done with medicine. What do I want next? Well, I have no blue coins, so the only thing I can do is metallurgy. And that will allow us to start on steel, or iron, rather. So this will unlock a forge, railway, machinery, boat building, and enchanted. So, yeah. The game does start opening up a lot from this point. Boat building we'll definitely want, because that will allow us to use these fishing spots, and fish give red coins, I believe. Yeah. So we could start fishing, maybe even cook the fish, and then send that over to a food market for even more red coins. And if I do that, then I don't have to rely on the cloth, and then all of my cloth can go into making conveyor belts, which would be nice. Okay. I would like to set up a pasture somewhere, not for food this time, but for leather. Because we do need leather for base upgrades. Where do we want it? And one of the hardest things is wherever we put a pasture, we've also got to have, you know, food for them. And I could just... start making leather here instead of fertilizer, because the leather, like all of the animals, will produce fertilizer at the same time, except for chickens for eggs. Yeah, you know what? We'll do that. So we now produce leather and fertilizer. And I would like a wagon to grab that leather and take it to the main base. I really need to double this road where there's a lot of traffic. There we go. Well, up there as well. There you go. Oh, I'll probably need to double that up as well, because otherwise the carts might get stuck on the bridge. Oh god, really? Okay, remove that. That's a little better. To be honest, I think all roads should be double thick when dealing with carts. Because otherwise they do some funny things and not the best, really. But that's working. We are producing fertilizer. We are still producing leather. Oh, wow. Why the hell do you have that? Go away. It's not meant to have food in it. So that's now producing leather, which will mean that very soon we'll be able to upgrade our main base again. Which will give us more homes, which will give us more happiness and workers, and yay! I say yay, especially because we are actually getting close to our capacity. So, we want to remove a couple of these trees. There we go. So that's where the new houses will go. Yeah, that'll be fine. I've also got to store cloth so that I can actually start upgrading the houses. That would help a little, wouldn't it? Probably need to increase this a bit at this point. Just so it's a little bit closer to my guys who are grabbing materials. And the people that are after trees, you know what? Yeah, just... Oh, look at that. Upgrade. So we can now build a kitchen, we can now build an apothecary, and we have maximum houses increased. Excellent. So, more houses. Upgrade those as well. So each upgrade gives you an extra 2 people living there. That's not too bad. Wonderful. So we've got 16 houses, all level 2. Oh no, 1 level 3. Oh, they should all be level 3. Why did these ones not get done? Oh, I ran out of money while upgrading them all, didn't I? Before. Yeah. Okay, well, as long as they're all upgraded, that's fine. Now, the other thing that we can now build is an apothecary. So an apothecary is just like the general store and the food market. With it, you can start selling medicines. So you definitely need one if you're going to sell bandages and things like that. I don't want to sell bandages and stuff for the second. I mean, I would like to, but I'd kind of like them built here. So, yeah, I don't want to keep extending this way, because then we're getting too far away from sort of the middle area and it won't cover all the houses eventually, which isn't what I want. Because if that goes there, then as you can see, we're just getting further and further from the edge of, like, the island. Really, I want the apothecary to go just here. A little closer, it's deciding to go right where the grain mill is. But yeah. Somewhere around there I'd like it. Just to keep that 3 gap between them. Because then... excuse me. Because then a railway could hit both the general store and the apothecary next to it. If that makes sense. But yeah, not too bad. But I think that's where I'm going to wrap this episode up, guys. A little bit short of this one. Unfortunately, I've got to go out very soon, so have to cut this one a little bit short. But next episode, I do want to start working on some of my basic building resources, because we are using a lot of them to make the cloth conveyor belts and things like that. And I'd just like to set up a production area somewhere that's producing them purely for me to build with. But yeah, that will be in the next episode. Wow, that is running out of lumber that it can actually use for paper. Maybe we should set up a lumber mill for this. Again, that's probably something that will be in the next episode, but thank you very much for joining me, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you have, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I shall see you next time.